Well, hello, folks. Ricky Lake here. I got my 71 Sears and Roebuck Silvertone Cosmic Dot. If you look real close, that's a stylized S&R for Sears and Roebuck, but they call it a Cosmic Dot because that's kind of like what it looks like an atom or something. Now I'm dry fitting. I got a loose brace here. There's a big gap there because there's a crack right here. So I've dry fitted everything, and then I placed my cleat clamp properly just to make sure everything will go where it's supposed to go before I try any glue. So now I know that everything is going to work correctly. Let me break it down for you folks. I got a loose brace here that I'm going to glue and clamp. I have a crack right here. It runs all the way. You can't see it very close. There it is. Now you can see it. And I already drilled one hole for a cleat, and I drilled another hole for another cleat because I don't want this to go nowhere. There's a brace that far into the sound hole, about where the tip of my thumb is. I have these cleats, these big old spruce cleats here, and that's what I use. I got a lifetime supply of spruce cleats, I suppose. And so I already got one cut, already got the hole drilled, and then I have these. I'm going to put these cleats on the sound hole side of the brace, and then I'm going to put this cleat on the other side of the brace right here. That's what I'll be doing today. And it's kind of fun. I like working on my stuff. All right, folks, I got everything glued. It turned out there was a broken brace. Well, not a broken brace. It was popped up right there where this crack was. So I had to glue him too. So I got this brace glued there and this brace glued there. So this whole brace is going to be glued all the way. It's got really good glue squeeze out on both sides. I cleaned it up, and now I'm just going to wait for about, I don't know, 24 hours. You're supposed to do it. Okay, and I glued the crack, but I have to wait and cleat it tomorrow after this is all finished drying. So I'm going to set this to one side, and I'll get me something else to work on, folks. Thanks for watching. All right, here's some of the tools I used. This is the little thing. That's the little drill bit I used to make these little teeny tiny holes where the cleats go. So this is one of my cleats. I already got the hole drilled in the cleat. This is another cleat that's going to go in front of the brace right next to the sound hole because there's nothing there. So that little skinny, little teeny tiny cleat will go there. I'm just going to glue it and clamp it after the rest of this gets done drying. Okay? And as I said, I enjoy working on guitars. I hope you do too. I've done a lot of work on this guitar. My grandson brought it to me. It was unplayable. It was completely broken, all to pieces. Somebody had done this top that way. Somebody had done a lot of stuff. But all I did was fix all the cracks, and I got some more because it fell. It had an accident. So a couple stuff got popped up and broken, so I'm fixing all that right now. So we'll get back to you tomorrow, folks. Thanks for watching. All right, I got this out. That brace on the bottom is all glued up. It looks good. It ain't got no pressure on it yet. I ain't gonna string it up quite yet, so I didn't have to wait the whole 24 hours. All right, now I got a different thing going on. So I was looking at this crack here. When I first got this guitar, I had no idea what I was doing when I glued these cracks. So this is a really bad one, and it lifts up sometimes, and it just gets all weird looking sometimes. So what I'm going to do is I planned on putting a couple cleats here. I'm going to put a cleat here, somewhere there, and then one more about right there. So that'll be two cleats there. And so I went inside just to check it. So what I do is I take some of these feeler gauges. This one's kind of thick, but I got a skinny one in there right now. And I just poke it and poke it like I poke it on the inside of where the brace is. And sometimes it goes under, so I know it's loose. So I know for a fact that it's going to be loose at this brace here. Anywhere this crack goes, I'm going to check that brace. So there's a brace right here. And I slid that feeler gauge way up there, and it goes all the way over to about right there, and all the way over to about right there. And that's a long way. That's a lot of brace to take care of. And I only got one of these things. I really wish I had two, but I already got it set. Already dry fitted it in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make up some hot water. I'm going to put some glue. I'm going to mix it up and make a real thin slurry, because that'll go in to every little teeny tiny crack, like way at the end. And at the end, it'll go way in there. The action of the hot water will pull that glue in there, and it'll be a really good bond. And then I'll come back, once I do that all the way down that crack, clean it up a bit, because it'll go places. I'm going to put the guitar upside down, put the glue in there in such a way. I got a syringe I got from my local pharmacy. So I use my syringe and I squirt that hot water glue in there along that brace joint where it meets up with this top. And I got the guitar upside down and leaned so it actually flows into that crack. So I'll get that done first, and then I'll come back with regular Titebond 3, and I'll use that same syringe, and I'll inject Titebond 3 all along there, pure, like undiluted Titebond 3, and it will follow that hot water glue right into the crack. And I'll sit there and I clean it up a little bit, and then I'm going to use my little elevator jack here, and I can only put it in one place. Come back tomorrow after it's glued and put in a couple cleats. The never-ending story, I reckon it is. This is my 71 Silvertone. Thanks for watching, folks. There's a lot of work to do. I got to get to it. These are all the tools I need for what I'm doing right now. I got my bowl for the hot water. We'll put a little bit of Titebond 3 in there. This is the good stuff. And then I'm going to go to work on that brace, glue it all up as best I can, clean it up as best I can, and then put this elevator jack in there, this screw jack that I got from Walmart for 17 bucks. And I'll let you know how it goes. I got this from a pharmacy, from my local pharmacy, for 25 cents, and it's just, I've used it so many times. It's so good for working inside of a guitar, because you don't want to try to use that big old thing there. So that works very, very good. And I'll get back to you when the deed is done, babies. Finally got that screw jack in, and it's sitting probably about right there. Got good squeeze out. By this time tomorrow it'll be dry, and I can put a couple cleats in, and I'll string this bad boy up. And that's how you do it, folks. You just got to do it. There ain't nothing to it but to do it.